There's a door that never closes. Though it opens but one way, it's the door that leads to heaven at the end of life's long day. It's the threshold of forever, where the heart is always glad. It's a respite for the weary and a comfort for the sad. It's the door to peace and healing, the door to joy and grace, where the Master greets each quest by name and with a warm embrace. And the loved ones who pass through into the light that's shining there find a sweet and perfect home within our Father's loving care. Words written by R. Haas. My name is Jean Bregeman, and it is truly an honor to be with you today, this afternoon. Amber Marie Wade lived a very simple life. Yet today we find ourselves reflecting on this simple life and how losing her has affected us, each one of us. But coming together as family and as friends, as neighbor and colleagues, we can begin collecting all the thoughts, all those memories of Amber, to have even more of a special place for her in our hearts. To Emma, Charlie, and Shelley, and the rest of the family, this room is filled with people who loved Amber, who cared about Amber, and are here today to embrace you with love, comfort, and peace when your hearts are just so filled with so much emotion. We're going to begin our time together with a special poem read by Teresa.
She passed away unexpectedly and without notice. There was no time for her or for us to say goodbye. However, over the last week or so, many of us have spoken words of comfort to one another as we call each other and hug each other and we say, we'll see her again. We will see Amber again in heaven. And I believe that. I believe that with all of my heart. I'm counting on it. And I know that some will ask, how is it that I can be so certain of this? How do I know that I will see Amber again? And the answer is simple. Because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him will not perish, but will have everlasting life. The Bible says in Romans 6 that the free gift of God is eternal life in Jesus Christ our Lord. But the thing about a gift is you have to first accept it. And I know that Amber did accept that gift. And it has been confirmed by many people that Amber accepted Jesus Christ into her heart. And she chose to put her faith in him for all of eternity. Each of us has the opportunity to accept his gift of salvation. And just like Amber, not one of us is guaranteed tomorrow. So is this that day that you accept his gift? Is this the day that you accept Jesus? This poem is called Scars in Heaven. If only I had known the last time would be the last time, I would have put off. I would have put off all the things I had to do. And I would have stayed a little longer. And I would have held on a little bit tighter. And what I'd give for just one more day with you. Because there's a wound here in my heart where something's missing. And they tell me it's going to heal with time. But I know you're in a place where all your wounds have been erased. And knowing yours are healed is healing mine. The only scars in heaven, they won't belong to me and you. There'll be no such thing as broken, and all the old will be made new. And the thought that makes me smile now, even as the tears fall down, is that the only scars in heaven are on the hands that hold you now. I know the road you walked was anything but easy, and you picked up your share of scars along the way. Oh, but now you're standing in the sun. You fought your fight, and your race is run, and your pain is 1,000,000 miles away. There's not a day goes by that I don't see you. You live on in all the better parts of me. And until I'm standing with you in the sun, I will fight this fight, and this race I will run, until I see what you can see. Because the only scars in heaven, they won't belong to me and you. There will be no such thing as broken, and all the old will be made new. And the thought that makes me smile now, even as the tears fall down, is that the only stars in heaven are on the hands that hold you now.
For those that knew Amber, she loved the hunk of men in the group called Hanson. Right? Yeah, Justin. It is only appropriate that we pause for a moment and honor with their song titled Thinking of You. Likely asked yourself, or someone else for that matter, so what's up with this door? This door doesn't make any sense. What does this door have to do with our precious Amber? Well, this door has a lot of meaning for Amber. I want you to really focus on this door for a moment. Really look at it. It is dark in color, maybe a little bit scary looking. Maybe by now you're feeling a little bit, having a hard time breathing as you focus on that door. Now I'm gonna ask you to imagine yourself right in front of that door. This dark door. This scary door. You may be asking yourself, Jean, this is starting to be a little weird. Where are you going with this image? Now imagine the door slowly opening. And on the other side is a beautiful and amazing path. A golden lit pathway with lush green grass and trees on each side of the path. And at the end of the path, this amazing, soft light. Do you find yourself feeling a bit relaxed? Being able to breathe a little bit easier? See, this is the light as God's love and support shining on to you. This light is His profound energy for us of happiness and joy. For most of us, when we think of our own passing, we hope that our loved ones that have gone before us are the first ones there to greet us. Our parents, maybe siblings, maybe our grandparents, but do we ever think of God welcoming you first? Really, Jean? What the heck is going on with this story? How does this have anything to do with Amber? Well, in short, this vision is the image Shelley experienced after the passing of Amber. She found herself in front of a dark door. Shelley was scared to open it and not being able to breathe. The door gracefully opened on its own, slowly. And there before her was this beautiful golden path with lush green grass and trees on each side of the path, encircled by this amazing light. Shelley had opened the door to heaven. She got to touch it and feel it. Most of you think, well, it's our extended family that's going to greet us first. But when we reach heaven, God will be there. He welcomed and embraced Shelley with this profound and amazing energy. She was overcome with a sense of calmness and overwhelmed with God's energy, like she could throw lightning bolts from her fingers. God was showing Shelley the path of the future. That life for her family and herself was going to be okay. God told Shelley not to be afraid. He will be alongside her each and every day, giving support to become stronger and better in the absence of Amber. Shelley wants you to know that the power of prayer does work. Over the course of the last week, your prayers for her and her family have been felt in such a profound way, in such a profound energy. The vision Shelley saw before her is a welcoming God, and through Him, we have a good and bright future. This path isn't dark. This path isn't scary. God is good. Even without Amber at our side, we will continue living in her honor. Now I want you to focus back on this door but vision the door painted white, maybe embellished with some flowers or a comforting sign or plastered with, glitter and diamonds. The hope that this beautiful door brings you a sense of warmth, a sense of comfort, a sense of calming. Now imagine Amber at that door on that Monday evening as God called her home. Amber opened this door. He opened his arms and said, "Welcome home, my child. You are safe with me, and you don't need to be afraid." In John 14, verses 2 through 4, he tells us, "In my family's house there are many places to live. Otherwise I would have not told you. I'm going now to prepare a place for you, and after I've gone and prepared a place for you, I shall return to take you to myself, so that you may be with me where I am. You know the way to the place where I'm going." And that way to God is through that door to heaven. Despite the sadness and the tragedy that we experience in our lives, know that beyond this heartbreak that you're all feeling right now, in time, there will be joy and happiness again. Throughout Amber's short life, she was able to experience this joy and happiness here on earth. First and foremost, Amber was an amazing mother. Emma described her mom as the cool parent, like she wasn't strict. You said she was more of a friend than a mom. Their days were filled with lots of laughter, lots of giggles, lots of smiles, and lots of good times. Amber and Emma loved Starbucks to enjoy iced chai tea or an iced white mocha and getting their nails done. Amber loved their dog, Billy. You said she treated that dog like a child. Amber's main goal as a mother was to make sure Emma was happy. For most of Emma's life, she was fighting brain cancer, causing her to be sick. Amber always found a way to make life happen for you and to make the best of times. She continually had food in the fridge for you and a roof over your head. There is one interest, though, that has been passed down to Amber from her father, and in return passed down to Emma, and that is the love of music. So that's how come we're jamming a little bit here and we're dancing a little bit. These two girls could be found jamming out with loud music and doing a jig in their vehicle. Certainly as people pass the cars on their highway, people probably look twice. What are those girls doing? They especially enjoyed listening and singing along to rap music and the songs of, you guessed it, Hanson and Justin Bieber. It was this past Christmas, Emma received the best present ever. Tickets for the two of them to see Justin Bieber. Emma kept dropping clues that she wanted to go to the concert, and Amber kept saying, we can't afford it. But unbeknown to Emma, all the while these conversations were being held, under the tree were the concert tickets and a hotel stay, the same hotel that Justin was staying. Emma, you mentioned looking back at the photos that are on your phone and so forth, that you see the big smiles on her face and how proud and excited to be able to give you a wish come true.
Because of Mom's sickness, Emma, you had to grow up fast and give up a lot of events and activities and special times with her and your friends. But know she was extremely proud of you and the young lady you have become. You're smart. You're beautiful like your mom. You're kind and you have such a huge heart. All characteristics of your mom, which will now live on inside of you. Charlie and Shelley, Amber was your precious daughter. Children are nature's way of telling us that the world should continue. Children are supposed to live beyond our time. We are here when they come into the world, but we're not. It's not the plan to be here when they leave. They are our legacy. They are supposed to be our future. And so now, honoring the times you have shared are even more special and more sacred, because it's the way that you keep her light alive in your lives. You don't overcome the death of a child, you learn how to live in different ways. Shelley, you said she was a beautiful baby, a girl who never liked to get dirty. Amber was the good child. Well, most of the time, except when she was picking on her siblings. As she grew up, Amber could have been a movie star with those long, red, natural curl hair and those big brown eyes. Shelley, you stated she shared with you what movies to go see, what destinations to explore, what different meals to try. And she was also your go girl for technology. We've got to all have one of those. Charlie, you said, as a little girl, you spoiled her rotten. For an example, buying her expensive dresses for no reason. As a very young girl, you recall buying a party dress that she wore to school one day, which helped bring out her personality. That day, Amber felt like Belle from Beauty and the Beast at the ball, and she became that center of attention. Amber was so proud of that dress. Then came homecoming dances and proms and more dresses to be bought. But it was Amber and your passion of music that connected you the most. You both learned and to enjoy different types and styles of music. Music ran deep in your blood. Amber was a sister to Corey and Kelsey. The relationship of a sibling is both simple and complex. We share a roof, sometimes a bed, sometimes a room together. We grow up as close as twins, or we're separated by time and space. No matter what, there is something completely unique about sisters and brothers. We know the deepest secrets that we promise not to tell, especially those stories of maybe when Mom and Dad have gone away for the weekend. But we share a heart that hurts when the others have troubles or struggles. They see the world with us and help us make sense of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Corey, you shared this special connection because you were only 15 months apart. The two of you have always been close, really close. You share the same hair color, the same colored eyes. Some of your fondest memories were spent cruising the streets of Vegas in hopes of winning it big. But remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I invite you to focus on this door once again. This door represents the gateway of being a mother, a a daughter, a sister, a granddaughter, a niece, a cousin, colleague, and friend. We could sit here for hours and tell stories of Amber and all that we have personally experienced in her presence. Yes, these stories and experiences are important, but it's the final door she walked through that's most important, and the door to heaven. She experienced walking down his profound path way before us. Amber went peacefully in her sleep. Shelley, you said she has no more pain, no more suffering. When our time comes, Amber will be standing right behind God to greet us. Until that time, we need to make every day good. Watch for signs from her, where angels are all around us. Just ask Shelley sometime about the sweatshirt. If you don't believe, after hearing the story, you will believe in signs. On the other side of this door, I can be a different me, as smart and as brave and as funny or as strong as a person could want to be. There's nothing too hard for me to do. There's no place I can't explore, because everything can happen on the other side of this door. On the other side of this door, I don't have to go alone. If you come too, we can sail tall ships and fly where the wind has flown. And wherever we go, it is almost sure we'll find what we're looking for, because everything can happen on the other side of that door. These words written by Jeff Moss. Before we have our closing words, I'm going to invite Amanda's grandma to come up and share some words with us.
As difficult as this is for me, difficult as you can imagine, it's difficult for a reason maybe you can't imagine. And that's about the notes that are in front of me. It's so hard to pick up the pieces of someone's life. It's challenging. And how much time I spent on it. And Chris was just so kind to come and type it, big type, so I could read it, didn't have any problem. So the next night I spent about 5 hours working on it again, and I had to call her in the morning and let her know why it needed to be typed again. So I run out of time, because this was like yesterday, and I couldn't leave it alone. So I couldn't ask her to type it again. And so it's got a lot of arrows. There's a lot of highlighting. So if I, say a sentence that just seems to be all confused, I'll try and backtrack. So, with your patience, I'd like to tell you how much Amber meant to me. She was amazing, and she so blessed my life. She inspired me, and she truly, I know it can be throwaway words that somebody made you a better person, but she did. She made me think about the people that I was in front of, that maybe had something they were fighting I couldn't see. She made me think that maybe a smile or a kind word, this isn't anything that we would written down. I don't really know where I'm going with this. We might be here a long time. But that's how she inspired me. She inspired me to be kinder. And she's beautiful. And I know I said it in the brochure, but you know, I say it again, she was like the enchanting glimpse of a rainbow that you so wish perhaps prayed would have stayed so much longer. I was there 36 years ago when a nurse was giving Amber her first bath. She was this tiny little infant who had just entered my life. And I was truly enchanted. Amber was always so delightfully curious. Even before she could say her first word, she would point at something like, you know, what's that? Tell me what's that? And she always appeared to be pushing herself to walk, to talk, dress herself, ride a bike, and on to the next challenge. I treasured the story her first grade teacher told me about when she first met Amber. In her classroom came this curly red-headed little girl saying, "My name is Amber Wade and I'm here to become a doctor." She captured her teacher's heart. When Amber was 23, her world was buried. She had a job that she loved as a media director. She moved in a beautiful townhome. And of course she had 2-year-old Emma. Emma, she so loved being your mother. And her life was perfect until it wasn't. Emma found out after having a seizure that she had brain cancer. And she would never again feel invincible. Something most of us maybe don't even think about. I mean, if we're not sick and we're young and we do feel invincible. At 23, it seems so unfair to be in that place. How long she would live was only a guess. The doctors told her, you know, with brain surgery, chemo, it was possible she could live another 7 or 8 years. We were devastated. As I'm sure you can imagine, to hear something like that. But Amber, she was our anchor, she was our strength. She was determined to fight. She said to me, I want Emma to know who I am. I'm going to prove those doctors wrong. I assured your mother, Emma, that I had a good memory, and I would make sure that you would know who she is. But her prayer was answered. You're 15. You know her. I hang on to that. A few years later, she decided to go to college and become a therapist. Life was now even more precious, for she was determined to capture all she could. And she loved so many things, it was hard to keep track. I mean, she loved to read, she loved music, animals, flowers, scrapbooking, fashion, traveling, and think I was kidding. This is pretty bad. And I loved how she loved me. She told me one day how wise I was. And then she had notebooks that she'd written down things that I'd said. And I responded, seriously? And she goes, yep, Grandma, I have volumes because what you tell me is important. 3 years ago, the cancer came back. More aggressive this time. Amber fought on. Emma needs me, she said. Then she'd stand herself tall, saying, nobody knows how much time they have, and I'm not going to waste any of mine. Amber never allowed the cancer to define her, she defined herself. 3 weeks before Amber died, she had completed her thesis for her master's degree. Now she told me, on to my doctorate. But little girl that walked into kindergarten, given more time, may have become a doctor. Amber's last day had been perfect. Her mother and Shelley had made, Mother Shelley had made one of her favorite meals. And after supper, Emma and Shelley and Charlie and Amber cuddled on the couch, which they do a lot, but it didn't always include Charlie, but this night it did. And they laughed, they teased Amber because she kept interrupting with questions that had nothing to do with the movie. And I treasure knowing how loved she must have felt. Must have felt that day when she closed her eyes. Amber was strong, and she was fragile. She was funny, and she was serious. And she embraced all she could, knowing how precious love is. It's hard. As hard as it is to be left behind. I find comfort knowing she is with God. And I envision her now with her new wings dancing. Dancing like nobody's watching.
If everybody could maybe just stand up and let's all give Amber a hearty clap. Celebrate Amber's life.
The passing of Amber has forever changed you. And now sitting in the special place at the sacred moment are the people who will miss her every day. You will miss her wit, her strength, her guidance, her smile, and that great sense of humor. And now you are her future and her memories. Be kind and patient with one another. Help each other during those difficult times when you will miss her the most as a mom, as a daughter, as a sister, as a granddaughter, niece, cousin, and friend. In talking with Emma, Charlie, and Shelley last week, we laughed, we cried as we shared stories together. You wanted to celebrate her life today and all she was to everyone. I'm sure Amber wants you to continue moving forward. And think of her saying this to you, to all of you. Celebrate my life. Remember me with love and joy. Let gratitude fill your heart. Thankful for the time we had gone, yet not apart. If we measured life in moments, not in months and years, I lived 100 lifetimes loved by all who hold me dear. I hope you'll find your smile and generously speak my name. Share stories in my heart, your love for life unchanged. Celebrate the life I've lived. I'll be watching from above. I am always with you, sending my light and my love. It's been an honor to walk with you in this journey, recalling the life of Amber. Again, thank you for your presence here today. In just a moment, we're going to conclude our service, but I invite you to follow the family. I will close with these words and a song in her honor. Remember, you loved Amber yesterday. You love her today. Your love for Amber will continue to be deepened even more tomorrow. For you are her legacy, and now left to carry it on in her honor.
Toes and